to develop the long-range missiles which can carry a atomic weapons. So it's not, again, it's not a question just has to do with Israel. It's a question that has to do with the free will, and we all should be concerned with that. So this is the big difference. This is the big difference. Yes, over there.
I have a question to you as a diplomat. In the Netherlands, many diplomats are ever more embarrassed by what, for instance, Mr. Geert-Wilders is saying, because of course you try to present your country as a neutral in the international arena. And I was wondering, are you ever embarrassed by what some of the more right-wing members of the current government from the Israel Atlantic Party are saying?
Well, you know, this is an internal Dutch issue. I cannot comment on statements of Dutch politicians. It's up to you in the next elections to voice your opinion and to actually express your wish who you would like to see in power. It's you know, always there are statements that you can agree with or you cannot, but again, we don't have a say in the matter. We are outsiders, and we have to respect your democratic system and your parliament the way we expect everyone to respect, you know, Israeli different opinions, and there are many in our Knesset.
Okay, thank you, sir. I actually meant to ask if you were occasionally embarrassed by what the Israeli government's right-wing members from the Israel Atlantic Party.
For the which party?
From which party of Avigdor Lieberman?
Okay.
Yeah, well, he's made some rather controversial statements on the right-wing political spectrum, and I was just wondering, as a career diplomat, someone...
As a career diplomat, and those of you who become career diplomats, you have to learn, and it's not difficult, how to separate your own opinion, personal opinion, and from you know, having to present the government. But by the way, I'm presenting a country. So by presenting a country, I'm presenting the government policies and also other and voices and also other voices. So in our Knesset, you have different voices, and I think the basic notion of democracy is not just freedom of speech, freedom of religion, but a very difficult aspect, to respect, not to accept, but to respect the opinion that you do not agree with. To respect, this is a basic notion of democracy. It's not easy, but this is democracy, because unless it's of course illegal, but if we cannot accept the voice or the opinion which we do not agree with, that will be the beginning of the end of any democracy. So you have different voices here, you have different voices in Israel. I mean, follow elections in the United States. Are you happy with the different voices that you hear over there? I'm not so sure, coming from the Netherlands. But these are the facts of life in every society, whether it's the United States, whether it's the Netherlands, whether it's Israel. Yes, please.
Thank you, sir. Could you please comment on the policy, could you explain why Israel is continuing its policy of building new settlements in the West Bank, and also address the theme of international law?
You're studying international law? Okay, well done. Is he a good student? Which year are you in? Which year are you in? First year. Good grades? Okay. Anyway, we are not building new settlements. What is being built are, and I'm separating, by the way, separating Jerusalem from the rest of Judea and Samaria. Jerusalem I'll be talking about in a minute. First of all, we all agree and understand that the settlement is one of the issues, one of the core issues that has to be discussed and being solved. And in the past, there were many, many formulas. By the way, Camp David, there was one formula. During Ehud Olmert, there was another. unfortunately, they were not accepted. I think there were missed opportunities over here during those times, when two, especially Omar, coming from the right wing, moving to the center, able to bring the entire political spectrum to the center, to be pragmatic, and he was willing to go far away. Abu Mazen say no, and we think why, we know why Abu Mazen said no. So we know that the settlement is our issue. We are not running away from that. Just as Jerusalem, refugees, security arrangements, it has to be solved. We feel that there are formulas to solve it, and most probably one of the formulas that have been discussed in the past, I don't know if that will be repeat itself, but the formula that the cluster of settlements next to the border of Israel, which 80% of the settlers living there will remain part of Israel, and the Palestinians, once they have an independent Palestinian state, will be compensated with equal size of territory. So more or less of swapping lands. Our approach is maximum number of Jews under Israeli sovereignty, maximum number of Palestinians under Palestinian sovereignty. So, but you talk about settlements that are there for 20, 30, 40 years. Now they're growing, families are growing, you have to build new homes in the settlement, not outside, not new settlement. So these are the, when you read about new settlement, this is not new settlement, this is building in an existing settlement. Jerusalem is of course, we don't consider Jerusalem as a settlement, although we also agree that Jerusalem has to be discussed. We're not saying Jerusalem is out of any negotiation. We certainly understand that we have to find a creative solution. Bear in mind that since we took over in 1967, this is the first time that all three religions enjoyed free access to their holy sites. I grew up in Jerusalem as a kid. Jerusalem was divided by a wall. I wasn't able to visit even once, and no Israeli was able to visit even once the Western Wall, which is the holiest place of worship for the Jews. We were not able to. Now you see Jews, Christians, Muslims living together with much less tension than the Ayites. I mean, because there's normal life. If you visit Jerusalem, and I recommend to visit because it's so interesting from all aspects, all the way from history, geography, religion, politics, etc. You'll be able to move all different sections and see for yourself. So how are we able, in any future arrangement, to be able to secure free access? Who is governing what? It's certainly very, very complicated. You have to be creative, but you have to also build the trust. And building the trust takes quite some time, because if we are, for example, to speak to and to finalize an agreement with Abu Mazen, Mr. Abu Mazen, when we are going to sign an agreement with you, will the Hamas abide by it? Will they give us guarantee that Hamas will stop firing into Israeli territories? But it can't give us that guarantee because Hamas they do not obey. So this is just to give you a very complex situation that we are facing. That's why, unfortunately, first of all, for all of us. Again, we are not enjoying living in such a situation. Believe me, I would have loved my kids to go to university immediately when they're 18, 19, without going through this experience, having to go through the army military service, being in reserves, and having to always think how the shelters were prepared, etc., etc., etc. So this is so the bottom line: the settlements were never obstacle for peace, will never be obstacle for peace. We find a solution. We just have to sit down and talk. And unfortunately, there are too many demands. And if you ask, one of the reasons